In all of this, President Biden has a tricky balance to strike as the war intensifies. And on a call yesterday with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Mr. Biden reiterated Israel's right to defend itself. However, he noted that it is within the bounds of international law, the laws of war. We spoke earlier to John Kirby, the National Security Council's coordinator for strategic communications. Admiral, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to dive right in because there's a lot to get to. For 2 weeks or more now, we've seen thousands of bombs and civilians suffering in Gaza. Israel obviously says there are military targets amid all that rubble. Can you confirm that the U.S. has intelligence that underscores that Israel is right to target these particular buildings at these particular times?
Well, I certainly won't speak to intelligence matters, and obviously I'm not going to talk for the Israeli Defense Forces and their operations. That's really for them to speak about. Hamas does represent a significant and real threat to the Israeli people and, frankly, to the Israeli state. And they proved that on October 7th. And so there's absolutely every right and responsibility for Israeli leaders to go after Hamas as a terrorist organization and to eliminate that threat. Now, again, how they're doing that, that's really for them to speak to. We also believe, and President Biden has said multiple times, that this puts an added burden on Israel because it's such a densely populated area, Gaza, in particular there in the north. They've got to that extra burden of making sure that they're doing everything they can to protect innocent life. That's hard for any military fighting in an urban environment.
But Admiral, I mean, the U.S. conditions aid, weapons, money to any partner, and that includes Israel, on following the law. So I'm asking you a pretty simple question, which is, can you confirm that from the U.S. understanding currently, all of these strikes we're seeing in Israel are, in fact, within the laws of war?
We are not evaluating each and every strike they take, and we're not going to react in real time to each and every operation that they conduct. We have been in constant communication with the Israelis, including over the weekend, as you rightly noted, from the president at his level with Prime Minister Netanyahu, to stress the importance of respect for innocent civilian life, to respect the law of war, and to minimize casualties to the maximum extent possible.
You know, the point of war is to win a more stable peace. So I want to jump a little bit ahead and talk about the aftermath. I was in Israel last week, and senior members of that administration and also the IDF told me that they expect to work with partners in the region and the world to rebuild Gaza after this and create a new security regime. Who are these partners, and are there any Arab states among them?
Well, as President Biden said in the Rose Garden last week up there with the Australian Prime Minister, we can't just go back to October 6th, the day before these attacks. There's got to be a better vision for the Palestinian people going forward. He still believes in a two-state solution, and he's obviously working with partners throughout the region. Arab partners, certainly our Israeli counterparts, the Palestinian Authority. We're working with all those to try to find a way to get to a two-state solution so that the Palestinian people can live in peace and security.
Admiral, I want to talk about the American hostages. Something else I heard last week in Israel is that the IDF cannot confirm that the hostages are even alive at this point. Does America have the ability to say, yes, we know these people are alive and we're working to free them?
We have a very limited amount of information to work with right now because we're not on the ground. This is an Israeli Defense Force operation. We're doing the best we can to try to ascertain as much information as we can about all the hostages, certainly the Americans that are being held hostage as well. We want to get them home to their families. I can tell you this is something we're working literally by the hour.
All right, Admiral John Kirby, always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.